Hi everyone. We will now discuss the process of recruitment, selection, and induction program that a company must have. The processes are approval to commence recruitment, preparing for the role profile, candidate attraction, candidate assessment, offers of employment, and lastly, induction of new stuff like technical briefing, financial briefing, role briefing, program briefing, and organization briefing. Let's now discuss the approval to commence recruitment. The recruiting and selection procedure will always start with recruitment permission. The recruitment approval process should entail the authorization from all levels of management, and recruitment and selection process can occur once permission has been confirmed by the human resource. Every company has recruitment approval policy. We all know that recruitment is one of the most essential responsibilities in human resource management. But before initiating the hiring process, it is suggested that these several specific steps are taken by an employer. To initiate the recruitment process, these things must be considered. HR must get management approval before beginning the recruitment process. To begin the recruitment and selection process, a request to advertise with a vacancy description must be filed. It should be sent to authorized delegate for approval. All of these considerations are outlined in a recruitment approval policy, which governs the company's recruitment approval procedure. According to Society for Human Resource Management, SHRM 2021, approval processes have the following. First, the hiring manager accesses the business intranet and downloads the job request form, filing out that all relevant parts based on whether it was a new position, a refill involvement, or a temporary post. Once all needed approval signatures have been acquired, the completed requisition form, together with a copy of the current job description, must be sent to HR in physical copy or digitally. Without all signs of permission, HR will not accept the job request form. Third, HR will evaluate the request to verify that job tasks, responsibilities, and pay grade match the job description. If modifications are required, HR will make suggestions and collaborate with the recruiting manager to rewrite the request. A second round of approval signatures will be necessary if significant modifications are made. The fourth one, the hiring manager will get a confirmation email about the open request and posting after final approval of this act. It is the hiring manager's obligation to double-check the information for authenticity and notify HR as soon as any inconsistencies are discovered. Within the first week of the open job requirement, the recruiter assigned to it will contact the hiring manager to organize the recruiting process. According to the authors of HR Expert Australia 2020, workforce planning and adequate funding allocation are required to begin with recruiting process. This may be done by coordinating efforts between the recruiting, finance, and HR departments. Before starting the recruitment process, the employer must verify that all resources are accessible and have been appropriately assigned. To begin the staff recruitment, approval procedure is established to verify that all levels of management are given their approval. Human resource personnel then confirms the authorization. HR can initiate the recruiting and selection process after all necessary approvals have been received. To guarantee a thorough recruiting process, a recruitment approval policy lays out the rules and regulations for the pre-recruitment phase. A template with all of the important data can assist you in efficiently completing the recruiting process approval without skipping any steps. These are the key steps prior to recruitment. Update position description. Second, complete a recruitment and advertising request. Third, budget justification for recruitment. Fourth, confirm selection methodology. 5. Prepare selection panel. And the last one, discuss advertising preferences.
So we are now done discussing the approval to commence recruitment. We will now proceed to preparing for the role profile of an employee. According to the author of Building Tech 2021, when creating a job description, it should be concise and true. We should always note to use words that are easy to understand, and the way we write, it should be in a professional way. It's important to take seriously the creation of job description because potential employee candidates might not be satisfied and move away. First of all, we must know that job descriptions should have the following main sectors. First, job title. Number 2, company mission. Number 3, role summary. Number 4, job function. You should give 5 to 10 bullet points on what they can expect to do in the role. Here are a few tips. First, write in complete sentences. Second, be through. Lastly, don't be excessive. Number 5, must have skills. You should list 5 to 7 bullet points that a candidate must have in order to be successful in the position they are applying for. Here are some few tips. Include numbers when appropriate, such as years of experience. Make sure to specify what the application wants. Education experience, qualifications, and platform knowledge are all vital pieces of information. Number 6. Nice to have skills. If you have any other desirable qualities, list them here as well. Number 7. Compensation. Job seekers consider compensation information to be the most important part of a role profile. Number 8. Time. It's best to be honest with your staff about the time frame in which they must work. Number 9. Location. Number 10. Working conditions. Number 11. Call to action. Make sure that it is very clear where a candidate should apply. Number 12. Disclaimer statements. Here are some examples of role profiles. In job title, make sure to follow the following. Make your job titles specific. Avoid internal lingo that may confuse the job seeker. In role summary, we make sure to follow the following. Open with a strong, attention-grabbing summary. Hook your reader with details about what makes your company unique. In responsibilities and duties, make sure to follow the following. Outline the core responsibilities of the position. Highlights the day-to-day activities of the position. Specific how the position fits into the organization. In qualifications and skills, make sure to also follow the following. Include the list of hard and soft skills. Keep your list concise. In salary and benefits, follow the following as well. Include the salary range. List out your top perks and benefits. What's in it for the candidate? Most job seekers, 83%, agreed that company benefits and perks have a significant impact on their decision of whether or not to accept a job offer. They encourage more people to apply by sharing the attractive rewards and benefits you offer your employees, such as unlimited PTO, flexible hours, medical, dental, and vision coverage, office snacks, tuition reimbursement, dog-friendly office. It is now time for you to know how to develop role profile. According to the author of HSRM, a job description is a clear document that defines the activity, responsibilities, and function of position. It specifies who is responsible for certain types of work, how that work is to be accomplished, as well as the frequency and purpose of the work. In relation to the organization's missions and goals, job descriptions are used for a variety of purposes, including calculating wage levels, performing performance assessments, explaining missions, establishing titles and pay grades, and establishing reasonable accommodation regulations, as well as recruiting tools. Job descriptions are helpful for career planning, training activities, and defining legal compliance requirements. A job description provides an employee with an easy-to-understand resource to use as a performance guide. A supervisor can also use a work description as a measure device to check that an employee is meeting job requirements. Here are the steps to develop a role profile. Step 1. Perform a job analysis. This is the process of gathering, examining, and interpreting data about how the task will supply accurate information about the job so that an organization can perform efficiently. Step 2. Establish the essential functions. Once a job performance standard has been established, the position's essential function must be identified. The following steps are involved in defining the essential functions. Ensure that the tasks as part of the job function are truly necessary or a requirement to perform the job. Determine the frequency at which the task is performed or how much time is spent performing a task. Determine the consequences of not performing the function and whether this would be detrimental to the employer's operation or result in severe consequences. Determine if the task can be redesigned or performed in another manner. Determine if the task can be reassigned to another employee. Step 3. Organize the data concisely. The following topics should be included: job title, classification, salary grade, level, family and range, reports to, title of the position this job reports to, summary objective, essential functions, competency, supervisory responsibilities, work environment, physical demands, position type and expected hours of work, travel, required education and experience, preferred education and experience, additional eligibility qualifications, affirmative action plan, equal employment opportunity. Step 4. Add the disclaimer. It's a good idea to include a statement stating that the job description is not intended to cover or contain a comprehensive list of the employer's activities, obligations, or responsibilities. Duties, responsibilities, and activities are subject to change or addition at any time with or without notice. Step 5. Add the signature lines. The importance of signatures in authenticating the job description cannot be underestimated. They demonstrate that the job description has been authorized and that the employee is familiar with the position's requirements, essential functions, and responsibilities. The supervisor's and employee's signatures should both be included. Step 6. Finalize. For review and approval, a draft of the job description should be provided to higher management and the position supervisor. Before the final job description is approved, a draft allows you to review, add or eliminate any detail. The completed job descriptions should be stored safely, with copies being used for the job listings, interviews, accommodation requests, compensation evaluations, and performance appraisals. Employers may want to put this on their intranet as well. And now, here are some tips on how to craft a highly effective role profile. Number 1, get the job title right. Number 2, start with a short, engaging overview of the job. Number 3, avoid superlatives or extreme modifiers. Number 4, focus responsibilities on growth and development. Number 5, involve current employees in writing job descriptions. Number 6, create urgency for the position. Number 7, culture. Number 8, burst biases in your ads. Number 9, the devil's in the details. Number 10, get interactive and innovative.
And now, we'll proceed to candidate attraction. Candidate attraction is an employer's tools and strategies for attracting potential applicants to fill a vacancy are referred to as attraction tools and procedures. Attracting the attention of targeted individuals, getting the attention of the people you want to hire is essential to a recruitment campaign success. You may need to follow the lead of organizations that have used innovative methods to bring job openings to the attention of persons who are looking for work, such as posting advertisements on billboards, subways, and other public places. Generating individuals' interest in a job opening. A prospective recruit's interest in a job vacancy is influenced by two important factors. First is the position attractiveness. Job duties, potential coworkers, advancement opportunities, income, benefits, and geographic locations are all factors that influence position attractiveness. Expectation of receiving a job offer. A prospective job candidate's expectation of receiving a job offer is a second factor that is likely to influence his or her interest in a job opportunity. Researchers have discovered that those who believe they have a better chance of receiving a job offer are more interested in a job vacancy. Recruiting qualified employees. The HR manager develops a strategy for recruiting potential employees after gathering information on the number of new employees to be hired and the types of positions to be filled. Recruiting is the practice of identifying and encouraging qualified applicants to apply for available positions within a business. Finding qualified candidates is the first step in the recruitment process, but first let's define certain terms. How can a person become a qualified candidate, you might wonder? A qualified worker must be able to carry out the responsibilities outlined in the job descriptions and possess the skills, knowledge, and abilities indicated in the job specifications. He or she must also be a good fit for the company. Where do you find qualified candidates who satisfy so many criteria? The answer is internal recruitment, where it is defined as a procedure in which a firm looks to fill a position from within. Another way is the process of external recruitment, where it is defined as when an employer looks for a suitable candidate from outside the firm to fill a vacancy. You must announce the opening whether you search within or outside the organizations. If you're looking for something internally in a small company, you can inform staff informally. HR managers in larger businesses usually publish job posting on bulletin boards or in newsletters. They can also ask various superiors for direct recommendations. Basically, you have two options: search inside or search outside your own company. Both options have advantages and disadvantages. Hiring internally provides the message to employees that they may advance the organizations, which is a strong motivator and a reward for good performance. Furthermore, because an internal applicant is a known quantity, it is easier to predict his or her success in a new position. And recruiting internally is less expensive. On the other side, you'll probably have to fill the positions of the promoted employee. On the other hand, going outside allows you to bring new ideas and skills into the organization. In any case, it's often the only alternative, especially if no one else in the firm has the necessary mix of talents and experience. Entry-level positions are usually filled from the outside. Recruiting personnel from outside the company is more difficult. It's similar to selling a product to customers. In effect, you're advertising the benefits of working for your company. College career fairs are designed to give students the opportunity to explore career opportunities, meet prospective employees, and practice professional behavior. Job posting is the formal announcement of a vacant positions for which the organization is actively recruiting new employees. Websites, online job boards, and staffing agency availability lists such as LinkedIn, Google for Jobs, Career Builder, Indeed.com, and others can be used to find publicly listed job listings. Social media recruiting is the practice of using social media channel to advertise jobs, recruit prospects, and engage with possible employees. It's also known as social media hiring of social media recruiting. Jobs fair is an employment facilitation method designed at bringing job seekers and employers recruiting agencies together in one location on a certain date to save money, time, and effort, especially for the applicants. And all unemployed, skilled, and unskilled workers, recent college graduates, training institutions graduates, displaced workers, and personnel pursuing development are eligible. An employer referral program. Employers use this coordinated and controlled approach to ask current employee to recommend candidates for available positions. The newspaper job advertising is one of the most effective mass recruitment resources in the country or region. Potential applicants may be encouraged to visit the website to apply online after seeing the advertisement in the newspaper. Lastly, recruitment agencies essentially act in the middle of job searchers and employers. They work on behalf of employers to seek qualified individuals and fill job vacancies with the best talent possible.
Candidate assessment. It refers to the process through which an employer determines whether or not a candidate is qualified for the position for which they have applied. A study of the candidate's resume and cover letter, a pre-selection process, a formal interview, and other online tools such as skills and behavioral assessments, personality tests, and social profile reviews are all examples of this type of assessment. Depending on the rules, complexity, and seniority, these assessments may or may not be included in the hiring process. It becomes undeniable that adopting a candidate assessment tool prior to a face-to-face interview would benefit recruiters. However, with so many candidate assessments on the market, picking which one to employ might be difficult. Here are 4 suggestions for picking a candidate assessment tool that will help you make an informed decision. First, define your recruiting objectives. First and foremost, it's essential to comprehend the objective of an assessment tool in your hiring process, as well as the expected outcomes. When selecting a candidate assessment instrument for your organization, the following goals should be considered: the primary objective and the secondary objectives. Second, You have to determine which types of applicant evaluations will best serve your goals. After you have stated your goal, you will need to figure out what kind of assessment you'll use to evaluate the candidate's abilities, personality, and capacity to perform. The types of candidate assessments include technical skills test, cognitive ability test, situational judgment test, communication skills test, job simulation test, and personality assessment. Third, assess the expected benefits of the candidate assessment vendor. Assessments are better suited to testing some rules, skill sets than others. Technical skills assessments, for example, are usually applied in software development professions, whereas situational judgment exams are frequently employed in customer service roles. While the desired outcomes of candidate assessments may be identical, different vendors will claim different benefits. The following are some of the expected advantages of a candidate assessment tool. First, reduce administration. Instant test analysis and diagnostic reports. And automated grading processes. Integration with your applicant tracking system or ATS. And last is the 24/7 support. Lastly, evaluate the assessment tool based on your needs. Consider scientific validity, legal compliance, and the degree of customization when evaluating possible assessment instruments. Key factors you can consider while evaluating candidate assessment tools include customizable, scientifically validated, EEOC or compliant for the U.S. employers. Last one's the cheating detection or prevention.
Offers of employment. The benefits and offerings of the organization as specified in a contract or job offer are one of the variables that employees examine before accepting a job. The company would make an offer letter. Employers should put employment offers in writing to clearly indicate what is being offered and accepted. The salary or wage associated with the position, as well as the start date, should be included in the offer letter. At will. Employers prefer employment to be at will. Therefore, the offers of employment should state whether or not employment at will is being offered. Terms. An employee handbook or other resources may be used in the employment offer and authoritative sources for the terms of the employment relationship. Conditions. If an offer of employment is conditional, for example, and passing a medical exam or accepting the offer within a certain time frame, the conditions should be expressed clearly. Employment. The majority of new hires are employed on at-will basis. Employment at-will arrangements are treated as contractual by the court. Yet, an employment at-will contract is nothing more than a commitment to pay a specific wage for labor actually performed. Contract. There is no breach of contract if a person is employed but not given a chance to begin employment because either party has the right to end the employment relationship at any time. The terms and conditions for both parties should be made clear in this document. There are two types of employment contract that should be considered. First, a fixed-term contract that has an expiry date. Second, an indeterminate contract that has no expiry date. Preparing the offer of employment. When preparing an offer of employment, certain information must be included to ensure a comprehensive employment contract. Make sure to make clear whether this is a fixed-term or indeterminate contract. State the date the employment contract will begin and with whom the contract is made. Set the expiry date. if this is a fixed-term contract. State the employment status, for example, permanent full-time. Cite any probationary period. Describe the name, nature, and expectation of the position. This may be provided as an addendum to the contract. Make clear the reporting relationship. State the base salary and the frequency of each payment. State the bonus or commission payment if applicable. This may be provided in a separate contract. List the benefits that the employee will have access to. This may be provided as an addendum to the contract. List any vacation entitlement. Specify how and when employment relationship can be terminated. Stipulate any requirements to sign a non-disclosure agreement or NDA as part of the condition of employment. Secure the signatures of the employee and the organization's representatives. The other important inclusions to cover in the offer of employment are salary increases, policies that affect this employee, for example, reimbursement of expenses, hours of work, other legal restriction or requirements, for example, non-solicitation agreements or intellectual property rights.
Now let's talk about the induction of new staff. Let's define the induction of new staff. Induction of new staff is the plan that should clearly describe the extent, challenges, aims of the program, and as well as the organization's vision, purpose, and value, as well as the expected level of performance from each staff member. What is technical briefing? Technical briefing is a speech made to a particular audience, often in the workplace, to communicate specialist expertise. Technical briefings can range from a researcher addressing a group of executives on a current project to a retail supervisor reminding store staff about a new company policy. Technical briefings often refer to how to use company technologies like computers, printers, and etc. Employees need to have an idea how things work, especially technical things. There are some examples of that during technical briefing. First is an office technology. Second is an office system. There are some technologies used in today's offices: intranets and internets, web pages, web-based email, voicemail, portable PCs, teleconferencing, multimedia system, electronic whiteboard, smartboard, and biometrics.
The next induction of new staff is financial briefing. HR required to discuss to the newly hired employee the use of expense, its payroll computation, and other financial factors that an employee will need. So then, what is payroll? It is part of financial briefing, refers to the process of receiving an employee's salary, balancing and reconciling payroll data, as well as the depositing and reporting taxes are all part of the job. Wage deductions, record keeping, and validating the accuracy of pay data are handled by the payroll department. How to calculate taxable income for payroll in the Philippines. The following is a basis formula for determining taxable income. Taxable income equals basic salary plus additional pay minus deductions.
We will now discuss role briefing that every employee should have. The first thing that they have to know is the company's mission, vision, and goals. Let's start with organization mission. Organization's mission, it is the company who develop and execute value-added human resources policies and programs, along with providing professional counsel, services, and solutions in a timely and consumer-centric way, and provide workers with the tools they need to satisfy our customers' demand. Human resources are dedicated to ensuring that diverse staff is fairly selected and developed. Some of the goals and values that most companies treasure are the following. First is goals. And the second is add values. Let's now proceed to terms and conditions of employment. The company will discuss to every newly hired their roles and what they will do in their job. Here are some examples that we got from Shield Contract Services. First is the job title and duties. Commencement of employment. Remuneration. Expenses. Hours of work. Place of work. Agency Worker Regulations or AWR. Termination. Holiday and holiday pay. Sickness or other absence. Health and safety. And confidential information. Moving on to HR policies and practices. HR rules, processes, and practices provide a foundation for managing employees. They include everything from how the company hires people to ensuring that employees understand processes, expectations, and standards, as well as how management may deal with problems if they develop. In job analysis, creating a detailed description of a job's task, identifying the work's interrelationship to other jobs, identifying the relevant knowledge, skills, and abilities essential for an employee to perform the job successfully. Here are some training and development programs that the company might introduce to fresh hires. Types of training: basic literacy skills, technical skills, interpersonal skills, problem-solving skills, and what about ethics training? Training methods: formal and informal training, on-the-job training, off-the-job training, and fit training to the employee's learning style.
Now let's talk about the fourth induction of new stuff, which is the program briefing. Security plan and regulations, description of the program or field operation, visa requirement, contact details, relevant maps of the area, program strategy, and overview of project. Under this topic, we have the following. First is the security plan and regulations. These are the following security plan and regulation. First is the recruitment, code of conduct, information technology, and violations. Next is description of the program or field operation. These HR practices are in place to support management and staff in their day-to-day business activities and are important to meet an organization's goal. First is an administration. Next is recruitment. Next is job analysis. And lastly, employer relationship. Next is relevant maps of area. HR process mapping is the restructuring of core HR processes with the goal of creating a quantum leap in performance metrics, including return on investment, cost savings, time efficiency benefits, and service quality. Program strategy and overview of project. A program strategy developing a human resource strategic plan that is aligned with the company goals. Next is an overview project. These are the different overview projects.
At last, an induction of new stuff is the organization briefing. Conduct policies including a code of conduct and dress code, health and safety, sexual abuse prevention, and child protection policies are all included in the organigram or organizational chart. This is the organizational chart or the organigram example. It's included the following under organization briefing. First is introduction to the workplace. New employees will be concerned about who they will work for, their immediate boss or their team leader, who they will work with, what they will do on their first day, and the floor plan of their workplace, location of entrances, exits, lavatories, restrooms, and the canteen. Health and safety policies. The new hire should be guided through the company's health and safety regulations and receive any necessary training on the first day of the induction process. This guide will cover the following topics. Lastly is company policies, allowing all new employees access to an online employee handbook that contains all of your company's policies and procedures is a wonderful idea. These are the following employee handbook contents.